Hello everyone, it's Lindsay, and today I'm going to be doing a Bible journaling process using the new Mark Maker devotional kit from Illustrated Faith. This kit is currently sold out, but there is still the digital version available, which I love that Illustrated Faith has given us that option. And so before I start into the journaling page, I wanted to kind of show you how I'm storing this and how this is all working for me. I may have showed this in my unboxing. I'm not sure if I had it in the system quite yet. I've showed it over on Instagram, so if you've already seen it, sorry. But I have this traveler's notebook that I got from Hobby Lobby, so I will try to link it down below for you guys. And I went ahead and put my devotional in here, but I also wanted to show you I ordered this zipper pocket from Amazon. I will link that down below as well. So one end is a zipper pouch, and then the other side is a little like sleeve pocket. So if you take this out, you can see what this looks like. And so I thought this would be perfect for storing the stamp set. I can stick printables in here and different little cutouts and things. And that way my kit is all kind of in one place here, and it just slides into your band system in the traveler's notebook. And I love that I can keep the stamp set and everything together and easy to access, you know, whenever I'm working on the kit. So I have everything stored in there, and I also have the stickers and die cuts. I even have my color swatching in case I want to refer to that. So all I can do is just pull this out and then work on the devotional here. So I already went ahead and worked through the first portion of the devotional and just took some notes. I did pull out the colored Illustrated Faith precision pens. They work perfect in here just to add more fun color to the inside of this devotional, not like there isn't already enough. And so I'm going to go ahead and journal Luke 8:39, and that says, go back to your home and tell all that God has done for you. And off he went, proclaiming throughout the town how much Jesus had done for him. And this is actually a story of a man who is possessed with demons. You definitely need to read the story in its entirety. It is crazy, some of the things that happen in the New Testament, and just make you realize how real spiritual warfare is and all of that goes on. There's something very real about that. So read the story in Luke. This is where Jesus casts out those demons, and he instructs the man to go back and tell everyone what God has done for him. And so in the devotional here from Shauna, she says, since we often don't share our valleys, it's easy to forget to share what God has done for us in those times. What mark has he left on your heart in a recent valley? And this is something that's really important to me, and something that I really push and speak for is sharing those valleys, sharing the times that God has taken you through difficult valleys. I've shared on here in a lot of different platforms just the struggle that I've gone through in our church, and some of the things that went in our church, and my marriage, and some of the things that have gone in, you know, over the years with that. And so I really try to be honest so that you can see not, oh, look, we got over this and we're awesome, but to see how awesome God is in working through all those moments. And so that is what Shauna has us here focusing on, is, you know, praising and going out and exclaiming how God showed up in those valleys. So I'm going to be journaling about that here. I did want to mention I'm working in the Illustrating Bible, which has really nice thick pages. And so what I'm working with here is not bleed through. And so I just wanted to kind of address that. This is actually shadowing from the page that I have on this side where I did some stamping. And I actually think that I stamped with a pigment ink, maybe. I know I didn't stamp with VersaFine. And so it's not bleeding through, but it's definitely a shadow. And so I love the clean white of, you know, the design of this kit. And so I want my elements to kind of pop off the page in that same way. But you can see it's kind of being interfered with this shadowing that's happening. So I'm going to go ahead and put some white acrylic gesso. Now this is Artist Loft. It's the Michaels brand. It's horrid. Don't buy this. Buy something else. I do believe with some things it is worth it to spend a little bit more money and not get the store brand. And gesso is one of those things. This is not very opaque at all. It does like weird cracking and stuff like that if you're not careful. So definitely go ahead and invest in, you know, maybe something a little bit nicer like Liquitex or something like that. You'll have better results. You could also use a heavy body acrylic paint. This one is not white, but Liquitex heavy body, that's going to be a much more dense, more opaque paint as opposed to a white craft paint. A heavy body is just going to give you more coverage. So if you're looking for actually covering things on the page, you want to go with heavy body. So I am going to go ahead and use the gesso to cover that up before I stick things down. And I'm not going to do anything super crazy, but I did just want to show you kind of how I'm storing the kit and I'm working on it, you know, in a combination of writing notes down in the devotional and doing some Bible journaling. So let me go ahead and put you on fast forward and we will put this page together. Okay, so I've gone ahead and placed a flexible cutting mat. I got this from the Dollar Tree underneath my page, and then I'm just going to go ahead and apply 2 fairly thick layers of this gesso. I am applying it with a paintbrush, so it's thicker than if you use like the card method or something like that. And I'm just wanting to, like I said, cancel out some of that shadowing that is happening. And also I will be stamping with Neocolor 2 crayons, and they don't bleed through typically, but I don't want any of the shadowing from those to affect the page on the other side. So this just kind of works out to make sure, you know, nothing gets messed up or ruined or anything like that. And technically this side of the page is prepped, so you really could do whatever you want, whatever medium you want in the margin there. I did go ahead and dry those 2 layers, and now I'm going to go ahead and pull out the cut aparts and figure out what I want to use on this spread. And like I said, this kit is sold out, but you can get the digital version. So you can get the digital version of the devotional kit, or the devotional, and then you can get a digital version of the like cut aparts and things like that. My understanding is that Shauna is going to try to bring back the stamp set into the shop, so you should be able to get the stamp set in the future. And so really you can get this kit just in the digital format and be set to go. So I will link that down below for you guys. So I'm just going through and kind of picking the pieces that I think will work for this space, keeping in mind that I want to leave myself plenty of room to journal because I have quite a bit that I want to write out in response to the devotional content. Here I pulled out some alpha stickers from my stash. These are some thickers. I believe they're from one of the Maggie Holmes collections. I'll try to link them down below if I can find them, but the colors really worked perfect with this kit. Other than the yellow wasn't quite the right yellow, but everything else really worked well. And then I also pulled out those, they are another set of Maggie Holmes stickers, I believe, actually, and they came in one of the Revival Camp kits, maybe. I think it was Revival. Either Revival Camp or Grace and Gratitude. I can't remember. It was one of the kits from last year. But I believe you can get them from scrapbook.com, so I will link them down below. These ones here off to the left, I'll link those down below for you guys as well. So I'm going to spell out my title, and it's going to say Share the Valley. I really wanted to say Share the Valleys, but I didn't really have quite enough room to get all those in there. So Share the Valley will work just fine. I'm going to mix in some of these black tile alphas from Tim Holtz, and I'll bring in some more black elements here in just a minute. I love the contrast of the black with these kind of softer colors. And this kit is just really, really cute and has me really, like, my creative juices going. I want to dive in and play with it. So there is my title there, Share Your Valley. And then now I can go in and start sticking everything down. A couple of you recently asked about this glue stick that I've been using in my recent videos. I'm trying this out and testing it out. It's from the Prima Planner glue pen, I think is what it's called. And it's basically just a fancy glue stick. I don't know that I love it. I'm trying to get away from the dry adhesive tape runners. I love them, and that is my preferred method, but I'm doing so many projects right now. I'm going through those tape runners like crazy, so I'm trying to find something a little more cost effective. And before I stick down these other elements, I really wanted to stamp this Amen cloud on the page. So I'm pulling out some Gina K ink. I think this is tumbled glass or sea glass. think it's called Sea Glass. And since I had prepped the page with gesso, I can use an ink like this, which is a dye ink. Typically this ink would bleed through the Bible page, but since I'm working on that gesso, it's not a problem. And I'm just going to stamp that in a couple of places just to add some more texture. This kit is all about texture and art marks, and Shauna talks about art marks and what they mean to her in the devotional content, so you definitely want to check that out. And so it's just a fun process just putting all these together, and just during that time of adding all these elements, just really thinking about the verse and what it means to me in the devotional content, and just all of that's kind of running through my head while I'm adding all of these little detail pieces. So I'm going to work on pulling some pieces for the tab cluster here. I do like to cut my tabs in half, that way I have double the tabs to use. And then I'm going to use this mark maker piece as part of my tab, and that is, you know, the title of the kit, but it's also the title of this particular section of the devotional. So here I'm going to pull out some of the texture stamps in the stamp set, and I'm going to stamp with some Neocolor 2 crayons. So I pulled out some colors that match the kit. You can find my swatches over in the unboxing blog post. I will link that down below for you guys. And I'm just dipping the tip of it in some water and then scribbling it over the top of the stamp. You want to make sure that the crayon isn't too wet or you don't get a good impression, but you can usually stamp it, 2 or 3 times and still get ghost impressions with the Neocolor 2 crayons. So I love the look that it gives. It really looks like you drew those on there, and of course you can totally draw these art marks. They're really simple little marks, but I don't know, it's just kind of fun to not have to think about the placement too much and just stamp it out. It's done. It's good to go. Like I said, it's all about the process for me. So I'm switching out and using a couple of the different shapes and then switching up the color when I change the shape. And I'm just trying to kind of keep in mind how I want my eye to move down the page. So I have that cluster that's kind of around the title and then that cluster in the bottom left-hand corner. And so I'm kind of working in that diagonal shape there. And again, keeping in mind that I want to leave myself plenty of room to journal. You can write over these Neocolor 2 crayons, but I try not to do too much of that because they will ruin your precision pens if you do it too much. They just don't play well on products like that, so you do want to be careful. I'm going to bring in just a little bit more of this pink. There isn't a whole lot of the pink on the page, so I'm trying to also, just look at it and see, how to evenly spread out the colors and things like that. So now I'm going to pull out some black watercolor and add some splashes of this, and this will just kind of tie all of those clusters together and continue on with that kind of messy artistic look of the kit. And who doesn't love a little watercolor splatter? That is my jam. It's on 80% of my layouts for sure. And I did go ahead and dry that off camera, and then now I can start assembling my tab situation up here at the top. And it is kind of repetitive. I have Mark Maker up here, and then I also use that little Mark Maker word fetty on the hearts, but that's okay. I kind of I'm into this whole repetitive thing right now. It was with the last kit, the Grace and Gratitude kit, kind of got me into repeating sentiments and phrases and kind of using that as a design element. So that's what I was going for here. And then I'm just using a T-ruler to sketch in some journaling lines for myself. And then I can go ahead and just journal out my response to the devotional. You can see I had plenty to write. I'm going to finish it up with a date stamp, highlight the verse, and then that is it for the entry today. So check out the description box down below. You can find links to everything that I used today. If I miss linking something, please let me know, but I try to be pretty good about that. If you have any questions or comments, leave those down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. And until next time, thank you so much. Bye-bye.